Well, welcome back to another episode of Grindhouse, 42nd Street style. Um, Unfortunately, I have a couple passings to note. Paul Rubens, aka Pee Wee Herman, passed away a couple days ago at age 70. Um, I mostly remember Paul from his appearances in the Cheech and Chong movies as the Hamburger Man and stuff like that. I know he was a beloved figure who got sort of screwed when he got caught rubbing one out in some kind of porn theater. And of course, America, the unforgiving, anti-sex people will never forgive Paul for that. But that's unfortunate. And he could make fun of it because he came back at an award show one time and the first thing out of his mouth was, "Heard any good jokes lately?" Unbeknownst to a lot of us, Paul was dealing with cancer, and that's what took him out at age 70. And it's really sad for a lot of reasons, because he was born in 52, and so was I, and I'm 70 years old, and so was he. So rest in peace, Paul Rubens, and thank you for everything you've done for the entertainment business. The other one is exotic Adrian Street, British professional wrestler who worked in the States, 82 years old. He worked mainly the southern eras, and I remember he was in a feud with handsome Jimmy Valiant in the mid-Atlantic area. So it's another sad story that we just lost exotic Adrian Street. Did some fucking viewing again because it's too damn hot to go out, and I sort of tripped over a couple things here. This fucker here, the Devil's Express. Soon as I flipped this fucking thing on, I was like, oh crap, I had seen this damn thing somewhere under a different title, and I think it was Gang Wars. But honestly, I looked at this thing and I'm like, the star is this guy named Warhawk how the fuck do you say this? Tanzania. This big black dude is a martial arts expert who takes a buddy of his named Rodan, to China. And Rodan finds this amulet which unleashes this fucking Chinese demon that basically goes back to the States and takes up resident in the subways and starts killing people in all kinds of horrible ways. Interspersed with this is a lot of really, really, really fucking bad kung fu fights, which these fights make the antics of eye-poking and bitch-slapping Mo, Larry, and Curly makes it look like that those guys graduated from the Bruce Lee Academy of Martial Arts. These are the worst martial arts fights I've ever seen. And this thing culminates with a martial arts battle in the subway with Warhawk dressed in a fucking skin-tight, gold, shiny jumpsuit, which showed off the worst case of male camel toe in the 70s, as he basically fights an invisible demon and throws himself around, and then the film just fucking ends. Yeah. Not going to watch this one again, and I can't recommend it unless you're a fan of really, really bad kung fu fights. And I think that there was some kind of thing that this thing was originally released as a Devil Express, but then somebody decided to change it to Gang Wars or Gang Fights or something like that to try to cash in on the Warriors thing or something. So anyway, wasted 90 minutes of my life watching that, so I really can't recommend you do so, but do so at your own discretion. Another one I picked up was an Andy Sidaris film, Seven, with William Smith. Now, honestly, let's see, what year was this one? 1979. I honestly do not recall this running in a drive-in or a grindhouse. I decided to give it a look simply because William Smith was in it, and Barbara Lee and Martin Kove, and I thought there may be something going on with little fisticuffs between Smith and Kove, but there wasn't. Basically, there's a syndicate of 7 top criminals that are basically going to take over the island of Hawaii. And Lenny Montana from The Godfather is the head. Martin Kove is in there, Reggie Nader, a few other people. What happens is Smith recruits 7 killers who you really don't get to know that well. Barbara Lee is one of them, and she gets paired off with Reggie Nader, who basically tries to rape her, and she sticks a charge of plastic explosive between his legs and blows him to pieces. This thing really doesn't get going until maybe the last 15 minutes of it, and there's some shootouts and things like that. It's very, very, for lack of better words, generic, because it doesn't have that basically grindhouse feel to it, where, okay, it was shot in Hawaii. Hawaii's a beautiful island. Stuff that shot in the Philippines is more steamy and sleazy. It just didn't work for me, and I really couldn't, like I said, with the whole Magnificent Seven motif, you get to know the characters and feel empathy for them when they die. Honestly, except for Barbara Lee, who was always hot and cool, I couldn't get into any of these fucking characters. And it's not to say I'm, shitting on Andy Sedaris as a filmmaker and a director. For me, the whole thing shot in Hawaii was just too clean, too neat, and really didn't work. And Smith sort of walked his way through the role, because I was looking forward to maybe him duking it out with Martin Kove, but that never happened. There is one kung fu fight where somebody gets thrown out of a 20-story building or something like that. It's basically the fact that these 7 guys got to knock off these 7 criminals within the 30-minute period, or else Lenny Montana's going to lead a raid on a hotel and slaughter everybody in it. Therefore, the crime syndicate takes over the island. Yeah, pretty far-fetched, but then so is the whole movie. I haven't seen any other Andy Sedaris films. I was bodyguarding Donna Spear in an early Chiller, and she was in a few of them, and she was a nice lady. But hey, if you're a fan of this stuff, more power to you. It just, like I said, as far as a grindhouse film, it really didn't work for me. And like I said, it just really didn't fit the motif. So, but Smith is always usually good in everything he's in, and Barbara Lee looks hot, so it may be worth, your time to take a look for it. I've seen it, don't ever have to see it again. So that's our show for today. We're hitting the weekend, so have a good one. Stay safe. A lot of people are going to Gross Fest, little mini con down in Pittsburgh. So if you're going down there, enjoy yourself, and we'll catch you on the flip side.